Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, February 25th, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice here the previous session price held right at the rejection day midpoint, which is something we mentioned yesterday in the pre-market video. We mentioned that price needs to hold the 38.50 to 38.60 zone for a likely continuation higher. If we got that, we were going to see perhaps a 1 to 5 day move higher and maybe even a 1 to 2 week move higher beyond that. So right now, a great bounce off that midpoint, a nice close higher. For the first time over the last week, we saw a higher high, higher closing highs, and now after you see a trend day like we saw yesterday, there is a tendency to see a fade after that trend day in the early portion of the day. We talked about this at the end of the trading day yesterday. Watched the previous session's high. A failure could lead price back toward 3,900, but after that you tend to see a trap in reverse. So if price gets into 3,900, perhaps even as low as 38.90, we could be looking for a bear trap that leads to strength the rest of the session. Again, price needs to continue to stay above 3,900 here in the near term for further strength to be seen ahead. If we take a look at the NQ, you'll see very similar price action in the previous session. Price dropped into the midpoint of the day and actually dropped below it. There was a great bear trap that we identified right away that led to strength back to the FOMC key level of 13,267.5. That right there, very, very bullish. But again, after you see strength like that, you tend to see a fade the next morning or in after hours trading. We've definitely seen that here already, where a higher high failure above the previous highs has led to a return back to yesterday's midpoint. That's around the 13,150 level. If price can continue to hold 13,150 by the end of the day, again, it goes a long way towards seeing strength the rest of the session and perhaps into the end of the week. So again, very good rejection off the recent lows, very good response off early morning strength. You definitely off early morning weakness rather, and this weakness right here, you definitely want to see some sort of trap and reverse off the 13,150s that can lead price higher. Eventually above 13,400 will open up recent highs into 13.9 and likely into 14K. If we take a look at crude oil has been very, very bullish again, among one of the most bullish commodities out there since the November low. We've seen price get very, very close to that 65 level. Today's high coming into the 63.79s. Again, very solid movement overall. Overall, this market right now continues to remain bullish. Even if we see a day time frame pullback, say into 62.5, that could be an opportunity for bulls to pick it back up and push it higher towards 65. So again, this market continues to head higher towards 65. At some point, whenever we get through 65, perhaps 66, there may be some sort of significant rejection that occurs. At that point, we may see some sort of return that brings us back toward 57.5, or maybe even all the way back down toward 50, as the market then begins to trade within this new larger price distribution between 50 and 65. So right now we are getting close to a point here where we may see major higher time frame rejection, especially in the weekly chart, but right now we see a little bit more upside until that happens. Lastly, taking a look here at gold futures. Again, gold has been very, very heavy overall. You can clearly see since the beginning of the year we have a very clear downtrending market. This market continues to honor the bearish Pima trigger zone here, and as I mentioned before, 1760 continues to hold as significant support. As long as we hold above that support, we might have a short-term attempt to return higher, but any violation of 1760 could be significant enough that it could lead to a big drop back towards 1660 and maybe even all the way back toward the 1525. So again, major support here. Lower highs coming into that support. If we can't find some sort of major bounce off this zone, that 1760 support level could be vulnerable soon. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.